Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, we have an early start time tonight because of a special guest. Mike. We're getting big. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Bowling podcast is blowing up around, especially around Philadelphia, Mike. I think we're bigger than the Eagles right now.
Listen, no, never. That's that.
What the way they're playing.
No, still won't be true. Even when they play, there might be more to talk about when they play bad than when they play good, quite frankly. But nonetheless, yes, Rob, we're spreading the word. I'm always spreading the word, right? So people that listen to the podcast know that whenever Bill makes a big show, especially a live show, I often call Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio and just go. I just
Why doesn't
put it
that
out
surprise
there.
me?
Yeah, I brag about our man. I put word out. I talk a bunch of shit about how he's going to win, and he's one of the best bowlers in the world, and people need to watch, and this and that. So, through my experiences there, I've got to familiarize myself with the guest we're going to bring on tonight. His name is Spike Eskin. There's a lot of background I could give you, but I'll give you the short version. He is a all-around sports media guy in Philadelphia. Okay. Andrew, please don't encourage him. Please don't encourage him, Andrew. He's an all-around sports media guy in Philly. He is the program director at 610 WIP, which is the #1 sports talk radio station in Philadelphia. It's the sports talk station that I listen to, that my dad listened to, that my grandfather listened to. It goes back like that. So he runs things there. His dad is actually my favorite sports talk guy in Philadelphia. He's a legend. He goes by the King. His name is Howard Eskin. So I tune into his show and often call his show to talk about what's going on with Bill. So through all my shit talking, Rob, and my general promotion, I had reached
more
out.
Harassment than anything. It sounds like promotion. It sounds like you're harassing this guy.
It's borderline. It's borderline, right?
You might end up with a restraining order, man, with this if you keep harassing poor Spike. Listen, man.
I am Bill's biggest promoter. All right, I take that job seriously. There's no salary attached, but I take that job seriously.
You're his best hype man.
During the pandemic, I listened. So Spike Eskin, who we're bringing on, also does a podcast called The Rights to Ricky Sanchez. And it's more than just a podcast. You guys can check it out. It's really a movement in Philadelphia. It's about the 76ers. He's a big fan of the 76ers, follows them closely. He runs all kinds of events, including bus trips and plane trips to various cities to take the Sixers fans to games. Bill is a big fan of the podcast. He listens to it. I listen to it. So I reached out to Spike at some point in the pandemic, and I said, hey, listen, I noticed you guys are doing some different stuff with the podcast recently because sports are shut down. Have my man on, right? Have him on. He deserves it, et cetera. So they brought him on. It was a great interview. And from there, we've kind of gone back and forth. So I asked Spike to come on and do a regular People Watch Bowling skit with us, Rob. It's been a minute since we've done that skit. So I sent him a show. Okay, and the fans out there will be aware that the show that I sent him is the PBA Players Championship. All right, the most recent one. Okay, Bill against EJ Tucker.
Bill.
So I had to pick a show where Bill bowled well, right? I had to, because if I picked a show where he bowled shitty, I would never hear the end of it. So I had to pick one where he bowled well. All right, so Rob, let's bring on our guest here. And let's get his observations and see where we're at. Regular People Watch Bowling here. Spike, welcome to Sweep the Rack.
It is an honor to be on here. By the way, Mike, I got to tell you, it's been, and you are not the only person to do this, which is amazing. WIP has been on 94.1 and not 610 for 8 years. And you still call it that. People still call it 610.
I do. It's 94.1 FM. This is true. This is
Mike,
true. Yeah.
Look at Spike's professional. Look at that microphone he's got. I mean, this is the pros, Mike.
Yeah.
This is the pros right here. Like,
Rob,
look at.
listen.
I'm in my mom's basement, literally, with like a lamp going and like,
I'm in the third bedroom of our house, and I have to turn the heat off when I do this because the vent is right above where I do this, and I don't want the noise there. So it's not that professional.
It looks great. Sounds great.
So listen, like Rob, check out his podcast sometime. I know you're not a Sixers guy, but check out his podcast sometime. Like we were talking a little bit before he came on. Yeah, we would be extremely proud if we reached the level of production value that they have going on over there. So maybe through email we can get some tips on that going forward. But
you got
all
it.
right. Spike, welcome. Thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it. I know for one, Bill will really enjoy this. So we sent you the PBA Players Championship, only the one match between Bill and EJ Tack at the championship there. Told you we needed 5 observations, go in any direction you want with it. Let's hear what you got.
Well, first, this doesn't count as one of my observations, but it was so nice to watch Bill bowl again. And it brought me back to when we all watched when they did that first thing during the pandemic. And it was exciting. It reminded me, I had completely forgotten now that, basketball went and all the other sports are there, but it reminded me that I got to watch Bill more often. I was, even though it was a recorded match, I was excited and proud for Bill as it was happening. So, all right, so here's my first observation. I love that the main sponsor of bowling is bowling. Like it's
we're coming out of the box hot right now. Yo, go ahead.
So they come back from commercial and they're like, sponsor of today's World Championship PBA matches, go bowling. And I'm like, what?
Go bowling.
And then it goes to the lane, and there's the ads everywhere for go bowling, and it felt like I was being indoctrinated, like I was in They Live or something, like I was being entranced into going bowling. It would be like watching the NFL, and like the sponsor is like, today's game between the Eagles and Bills is brought to you by football. So that was my first observation.
Oh my God, Rob, you want to comment on that at all? I
have no comment.
That is too good. I'm speechless. That's too good. That's too. And listen, Spike, honestly, it's been that way. It's been that way for like years, right, Rob? It's a problem. It's a problem. It's one of the big. Yeah, it is for real.
Do you think that they would get sponsors like Budweiser or I don't know, like your demographic, right? Between like your 16-year-old, like 45-year-old male, right? You would think you would have a good sponsor in between that, but bowling struggles gaining sponsors, and that's why it's fun to interview you, Spike, and we do this skit because we're interested to hear your input on why someone who doesn't bowl, like what they think of a bowling show and why they are or will not watch it in the future. So,
well, the interesting thing about, I don't know if this is like too inside baseball, but the interesting thing about them having trouble selling sponsorships and them selling it to, is Go Bowling like Got Milk? Is that what it is? Is it like a bowling initiative or what is it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So when a salesperson doesn't understand what an audience is of a thing that they're selling, they just go to like whatever it is. So it would be like if there was a show about cars on television, them only selling sponsorships to like Mercedes and Honda, and as if the only people that watch a car show, the only thing that they ever purchase or think about is cars, because it's like the easy tie-in. You can go to the sponsor and go, here's a show about cars. Do you want to advertise your car on it? I would just imagine that whoever is selling it, I don't know, you got to sell the audience, not the product, right? Like who watches bowling? It's got to be 35 to 54-year-old men. Well, but I would imagine it's adult men though, right? I mean, it's like 40, 50-year-old men. Is that?
Yeah, I would say.
It is. I feel like if you go to a regular tour event, at least when
it's a little younger,
a couple years ago, like I went to a major in Vegas and it was all like probably between 50 and 80. Really, it was really old and really quiet, and it didn't help that qualifying was on a Tuesday afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I would say something probably, in my opinion, around like, what do you think, Mike? Like 30 to like 130.
Yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with where you're at. Right, like if you go to certain places where the PBA tour goes, it's going to skew. You're going to see differences, but yeah, generally probably a little bit older. All right, Spike, go ahead. What's your second observation here?
All right, this EJ guy, he's only 27. What happened, man? I mean, I bet he's a nice guy, but I'm 44 and I look younger than EJ.
Oh man.
Oh, that's what bowling on tour does to you, Spike. It ages you very quickly. Yeah, even Bill, like my mom was watching the PBA playoffs with me this weekend, and she was like, "Wow, look how old Bill got, and he's got gray hair." And so, yeah, I mean, look at me. I mean, that's what bowling. That's what years of bowling did to me. Look at all the gray.
But you and me and Bill are almost 40, son. EJ's 26. Come on, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Look,
all right.
Obviously, very good bowler. No offense, EJ. All right. Here's my question. I'm watching Bill and I'm watching EJ and I'm watching their outfits. What makes a bowler decide between sort of the polo shirt version, the thing that Bill's wearing, but EJ was wearing almost like a cyclist or a jockey shirt or something like that? I've never seen a sport in which the two people are dressed so differently. Maybe golf, but even golf, it seems like there's a sameness. Is there why the polo versus the bicycling shirt?
Rob, you want to take that or you want me to take it?
I think it's what the companies give them. It's like literally like the companies are sponsoring these players, and
it's all the same shirt company, Spike. They're all made
shit.
Yeah, they're all made by the same shirt company. So like anybody on tour, especially the higher level guys, the regular guys, they're definitely going to be wearing like a certain company shirt. But yeah, there's different versions of it. And I'll also say like some of them wear it looser, right, Rob? And some wear it tighter. Like I would say EJ is definitely on the tighter side. The sleeves are a little bit shorter and higher up. So it could really be the same shirt, but I think it's going to look different depending on how they wear it. So that would be my answer to that.
Like as long as they're not wearing cycling shorts with the shirt, I'm cool with it, man.
Look, man, whatever advantage they can get, if that makes them a little bit sleeker,
dude. I would get a tube of socks and I'd put it in my shorts.
There you go.
And I would bowl on TV with that and see it.
What's wrong with you, son? Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So what's this? Number 4 are we on?
Yeah. Coming up is number 4. I don't understand why the 3 sports, everybody's quiet the whole fucking time, are tennis, golf, and bowling. I just feel like bowling is, everybody thinks of it as a leisure activity where people are drinking beer. There's video games in the background. There's a jukebox going. There's maybe a DJ yelling at everybody. There's kids screaming. Bowling, there should be a loud crowd and they should be able to taunt the guys. And I feel like it would make it better.
Yes, I love it.
So, all right, we give you just a little quick background here. So there's a place in Maine called Bayside Bowl. This is the place that I told you. So, Rob, Spike wants to do a trip with his Rights to Ricky Sanchez people to a PBA event. And I told Spike, I said, well, listen, if we do it, this is the best place to do it would be Maine, right? So this is the place I was telling you about. It's called Bayside Bowl. It's in Maine. It's Spike. When the PBA tour goes there, it's exactly what you're describing. It's wild. There's people dressed up in costumes and shit. They're drinking beer on the side of the lanes. They have nicknames for all the guys. They chant shit while they're going up to bowl. So it's totally what you're describing. And yeah, there's definitely two schools of thought within the pro bowling fandom, I guess you could say. And one is that shit sucks and it has no place in the game. And the other is, no, this is how to make bowling more popular and make it appeal to the general crowds. And perhaps when you're bowling for a major, let's say like the US Open or something, perhaps you don't have that same environment. But in a general tournament that's not of that kind of prestige, yeah, like a lot of us would like to see that be the norm.
What wait, you just said something that I had a question about. Oh, do you know if the bowlers at that one place tend to bowl lower scores than they do? They don't
care. No, they've all come out and said they don't care. Like it's either they want no noise or they want noise all the time. Doesn't matter to them in between. Like it's when there's no noise and then somebody shouts, or there's a lot of noise and everybody shuts up that really disturbs them and gets them out of their concentration. It doesn't really bother them. I mean, Bill and a guy named Sean Rash at the event they had at Bayside Bowl last year, they put on one of the greatest matches in the history of the PBA. I mean, Bill almost bowled a perfect game. Sean Rash shot like 290 or 279 or something. So it was wild. And yeah, it was for $100,000 or the chance to bowl for $100,000. So it doesn't seem to affect them. So yeah, it's definitely something that we would like to see too. But all right, give us your last one.
Number 5. So I'm watching, and it was obviously a great match, huge comeback by Bill. But I noticed both guys, Bill and young EJ, were huffing and puffing like pretty hard by the 7th frame. And my question is, are bowlers ever tested for PEDs? And don't you think PEDs would help a bowler?
Ooh, I can answer
no,
that.
They're not tested. I mean, Team USA, if you're on Team USA, you are.
Right.
I know when Bill was on Team USA, like he had to be available to piss anytime they wanted him to. Like they could show up at his apartment at like 3 PM and he would just have to piss for the guy right then and there.
See, I'm going to answer this one because Mike has no clue about anything performance or enhancing. There is nothing around him that is going to have. If
That's
you
a low
ask,
shot, son.
Yeah. But actually, a lot of the younger generation now is actually in the gym, actually working out and keeping in pretty good shape. But like they're not like lifting heavy weights because you lose your flexibility. It's a more of a leg and core and it's definitely PEDs will not help you in the sport, but bowling two-handed is like being a bowler on a PED. I don't know if Spike, have you seen any of the bowlers bowl with 2 hands?
Yeah, we asked. I think we asked Bill. Did we ask Bill about it? Or or maybe I asked you about it because here's what happened. I was watching the Bill thing, and we were doing that Zoom, and I think I asked you because I saw a couple of the guys bowling that way with 2 hands, and it's not the way. When you say that to some, obviously these are bowling. Why am I explaining two-handed bowling to a bowling podcast? I forgot that I was on your podcast where everybody knows what two-handed bowling is. I was going to go. It's not like granny style, but everybody listening knows. So, all right.
And you'd be surprised how much of an advantage it is being a two-handed bowler on certain like aspects of the game. It's not an advantage all the time, but it is an advantage when they have it. And obviously, the best bowler in the world, Jason Belmonte, who's on my shirt, is the two-handed like premier player, and he has such an advantage when he has it. Meaning, like when he's on, it's tough to beat him. So. That's the equivalent of being on a PED, bowling two-handed. I mean, Mike, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'd also say the bowling balls.
The bowling balls are on PEDs too.
Yeah, the bowling balls have gotten so strong over the years that a lot of people consider them to be, almost like bowling balls on steroids. So that's a different conversation for a different time, though. But Spike, Rob, listen. We've had quite a few people on regular people watch bowling. I got to say that was the best one. That was those observations were on the money for sure. I want to tell people we do not have any input in what they say. I did not contact him in any way and say, yo, notice this, notice that, say this, say that. I just sent him the video, said, here, wherever you want to go, that's fine. Spike, listen, we appreciate the time, man. That was fun. Cool, man. I appreciate you guys putting up with my bullshit about calling about Bill on Sports Talk Radio. So, tell the guys at WIP that I apologize for that. I'm just trying to do right by my boy. And, continue your thing with the podcast, man. I'm a fan too, so I'm listening as well. And, again, we appreciate the time, man. It was fun to have you on.
Thanks. I appreciate being on. Thank you, guys.
Good luck to the Sixers next year, Spike.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for
good things going down. Good things going down.
All right.
Okay, Rob, I'm just going to tell people. I know a lot of people were coming in as we were wrapping up there. Listen, if you didn't catch that, when we're done, go back and catch that. Yes, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun having a regular people watching bowling just to hear people's input. I mean, we talk about it all the time when we do the skit, but it's cool to have like an actual legend, Spike, the Philadelphia media, the king of all media in Philadelphia on the show Mike, you did a great job getting publicity for Bill in that local area. Really, I don't know what you want to call it, spamming or calling in every day or whatever you do. I feel like Mike, if every pro did that in their own area, or had people do that for them in their own area, and you have all these pro bowlers like reaching out and doing their own media, like, reactions or advertisement, I feel like there'd be a lot more outside publicity, and people would look. Spike is going to be a Bill O'Neill fan now for a long time, right? And he's wants Bill to win, and he's going to watch Bill's shows, and he has now like a personal investment in Bill, right? And I feel like that's what the fans need. They need to bring on a pro of their own, have their own investment into him, and root against the other person when your guy's bowling. And I feel like Spike is a good example of what the PBA needs everybody, not just happy everybody's making the show and I'm just going to watch. Like, I want to be watching a match and be like, man, I hope Bill just absolutely hammers this guy. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, and Eric, that's a fair question. I'll be honest, I don't really think that skit is about what we take away. It's kind of a fun thing, but I do think it's really interesting to see an outsider's perspective on watching the show. How many times, Rob, do we sit here and talk about the sponsors and the fact that like it's always bowling sponsoring bowling, and it's noticeable, right? Like even somebody who's watching a show for the first time kind of notices it. So I found that to be interesting. I thought his observations were funny. Most of them.
Sure.
And if he that's the thing. He knows that I'm a fan of his podcast. I'm familiar with how they do things. He's a rather funny guy on his podcast. They're very entertaining there too. So I don't know how much I take away from it, Eric. Just in terms of being entertained by it and seeing what it's like, seeing what the perspective is, because Rob's right. Like when we watch bowling, we're watching it differently than those people are. So I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was funny, and I thought it was entertaining. So okay, Rob, we're gonna get right into it here, okay? Because obviously we already took up a good amount of time with that regular people watch bowling skit. For me, I'll be honest, that was some real fanboy shit to have him on. As I said, I'm a huge fan of his dad. I listen to his podcast, and he runs the show at a major sports talk radio station like 94.1 WIP. Let me get the name right, which used to be known as 610 WIP, has been around for many years. They were like at the beginning of the sports talk radio game. They run an event for many years. It doesn't run anymore, called Wing Bowl. That my family members have participated in. It's a wing eating contest the Friday before the Super Bowl every year. They ended it a few years ago though, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So, fanboy thing for me to have him on. So that was cool. Rob, let's talk PBA playoff action. Yes?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely checked out the show this past Sunday. It was Sunday night, I believe, right during football.
Yeah, I didn't watch it live. Eagles were on playing Dallas. I wanted to watch that game. I also had the third leg of a parlay in that game that I ended up hitting. So, yeah, my attention was fully focused on that game. I didn't watch it live, but I did catch up on it. You want to go match by match here?
Yeah, sure. Remind me what the first match was. All
right, so you had Bill and AJ Johnson in the first match.
Yes, right.
Right. Okay. And I thought Bill's ball reaction was the difference there. Great choice using a deviate ball that is kind of, I'm not hating on deviate. They're just known for like a little less reaction than most balls, I think, and I've thrown some of them as well. And I thought that was a good choice given the lane surface and condition.
Yeah. It was absolutely the decision by Bill to use a surface, right? To use surface to be able to manipulate the ball with his hand and ball speed. Real quick, you want to give Joey Bellbomb's the podcast?
It's the rights to Ricky Sanchez. The rights to Ricky Sanchez is the name. Go ahead, Rob.
But definitely the difference in the match was Bill using an aggressive ball and able to pick up his ball speed and still play right. The middle of the lane seems to be out of play for at least the first game or two during the fresh, and I think they bowl every match on the fresh, it looks like. So Bill's choice to be able to stay right, pick up his ball speed, change his hand position, do everything that why he's the best player in the world, or one of the best players in the world, is why he won that match. AJ stuck with a hybrid, like urethane, that motive they're good balls, those motive hybrids, but you could just tell there was a few shots where AJ threw and 45 feet down the lane, it just, 2-8, 10 pinned. It's what happens when you use a urethane. I mean, you're going to get that unless you're, Jesper Svensson or someone who carries better with a urethane. But yeah, so that was the difference in that match, absolutely. And Bill, let me say something. If Bill could continuing playing that reaction with that line, and he's going to go up against urethanes, I'll take him like 99 out of 100 times to win.
Yeah, his looked real good. The match was tight there in the beginning, and then Bill was kind of able to pull away at the end of that match. So yeah, I thought that was a good solid performance from Bill, especially first game out. First game out. I'm meaning his first game in the tournament. Obviously this was taped, so they bowled it a little bit quicker than what it's airing. Right. But at the same time, that was his first game in the event. So it was good to see him come out and bowl well in that first game. All right. The next match, Rob, was Kyle Troop against Nick Pate. And can I make a comment about Kyle Troop real quick?
Sure.
An observation. So I like Kyle Troop's level of focus. I do. I think that over time his level of focus has gotten better, almost to an elite level, I would say, where there's certain guys that I look at who I almost can tell when they're in the moment that their level of focus is elite. I'd put Belmo there. I'd put Bill there. I would also put Kyle Troop there, but let me separate him from that group for just a minute, because I also feel that sometimes it's like his focus becomes over focus or too much focus, and it leads to a negative result for him. Like, I really loved his approach in this match, and then right in the middle of the match, when he had a chance to really put his foot down and assert himself in the match, he throws his worst shot of the match, goes high, and leaves a split. So I think he's right there. I do. I think he needs to relax a little bit in those keep that level of focus, but relax in those bigger moments a little bit would be.
I feel like Pete Weber is a good example of somebody who has laser focus. I mean, I'm talking Pete in his prime, right?
Right.
Laser focus and is really intense, but also can control it so that those nerves don't take over, right?
Belmo and Bill. I mean, both great examples. Laser focus, but calm and retain.
I think calm
I'd say Sean Rash too. The balks a little bit are questionable there, but I might put him in that category as well. So I saw that from Kyle Troop as he was bowling.
I do want to comment. I'm glad Andrew brought it up. By the way, Andrew, keep watching. We're going to roast the shit out of you tonight.
Stick around, son.
I didn't like Bill's intro. Okay,
no, me either.
Why should Bill's intro be
about Chris
an
Prather?
Intro about being second fiddle Chris Prather? Chris
Prather and Bill O'Neill ain't even in the same league. All right, Bill O'Neill is a certified Hall of Famer. Chris Prather has a long time to go to be that. All right, Chris Prather is not necessarily a spring chicken in terms of age. Okay, so I
just don't understand that Bill had so many different ways to go to do his intro, like to just talk about, like, they could have brought up Philadelphia. We just spoke to Spike, like bring up, being from Philadelphia and,
Sixers
some of his Sixers fan.
Right.
And, there's a lot of,
there's so many directions.
There's so many directions, and they go to second and Chris Prather. Like, what? Like, I just didn't get that. I like to talk to Bill about that when next time we have him on air.
Yeah. So Nick Pate, good game by Nick Pate. I feel like Nick Pate bowled a game like me. Like I bowl in my sport league.
Dude, that 10th frame was the best shot of his career.
410, and then he rolls the 4-pin, which everybody remembers, even though he leaves a 410, which could have been a 4 or a 10. Unfortunate break in the 10th frame. 2-team, decent game, but not a great game. So. Yeah, but you know what? How can you push rivalries in a sport where they're only going to match up so often
I know.
on TV?
I know.
Come on, you can't set up the competition to push rivalries. So, if you're going to push the rivalries, then find a way to get them against each other on TV more often. If you wanted to push the rivalries, instead of doing a strike contest, have Chris and Bill bowl each other on TV for 20 grand.
Right.
Call it a grudge match or something. I don't, they're going to, there we go, steal that idea
better.
next. Be prepared to hear, PBA grudge match coming up. I
there's better.
Check if you use that, by the way.
Yeah, okay. There's better ways to push a rivalry than.
Shout to Nick Pate. I thought he bowled a good game. Bowled a game like me. 2-team.
The 10 frame was
230.
Dude, he threw the best shot of his career in the 10 frame, and he just absolutely ringed the 10.
Yeah, it was.
You can't throw it any better than that.
Okay, Brad Miller, upset of the tournament, right? Brad Miller upset of the tournament over Jesper Svensson. Bowled his ass off. Svensson, couple carry issues with the urethane. Can I just say, check my bracket. I had Brad Miller going to the Final Four, okay? He's now in the Final 8, and he took out Jesper Svensson in the biggest upset. So, give your boys some credit over here, all right? That was a good call in the bracket. I knew Brad Miller was throwing it good. That's why I picked him, all right, in my bracket, because he's impressed me with his performances as of late. He bowled great. He deserves the MVP from this show, Rob.
Yeah, and I definitely know that the rest of the people who are still alive in that bracket were rooting for Brad Miller to win that match. There's no doubt in my mind. Nobody wanted to mess with Jesper, considering, one, he was the only lefty in the field. Two, from what they were saying in practice and what they were saying on the show, is this guy, he had the nuts. Like, he couldn't miss. He threw like 20 in a row, they said, in practice. Nobody wants to bowl Jesper on that with a urethane. And his reaction was, he had a great look. Mike, he stoned an 8, right? He stoned, he got every bad break. And I think he might have even, did he stone a 7-10 somewhere there? I don't even think. But anyway, long story short, Brad Miller, man, I like Brad Miller. I root for him. He's a good dude. I've met him for like a couple seconds at the playoff or the PBA league, but just seems like a good dude. And I don't know, he kind of has that little bit of like that underdog story. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like when Brad Miller bowls, like he's like always an underdog.
Because he hasn't won yet. That's why. I mean,
I like Brad. I like, he's got that true underdog, and I always root for the underdog, Mike. That's that's my thing, right? Rudy, Rocky, like I love the underdogs. So hopefully Brad Miller can continue to do what he's doing, because I don't know, he's fun too. Like, I feel like he's entertaining in his own kind of way.
And then Rob, the last match was Tackett and Smallwood.
This
Tackett
is my
comfortable
match.
all match.
Smallwood
goes on a streak, right? And then Freddie for the Cheddar, yeah, no doubt.
Dude, Smallwood, I said it.
And Tackett going 9 spare.
Smallwood's ball switch. I thought it was going to be too late, Mike. I thought he should have switched after he flat 10'd in the second. He flat 10, Mike. And I feel like he waited, and then he bucketed and he missed. And then I'm like, dude, it's over. Like, EJ had the whole lane, and Smallwood's using a urethane and trying to control the pocket when EJ, who's probably, in my opinion, the second best bowler in the world right now, has the whole lane. And then all of a sudden, Smallwood makes one ball switch, and boom, strikes out. And then guess what?
Turn the tables.
Dude,
put the heat back on him. Put the heat back on him, and then turn the tables. A couple carry issues, and that was that.
When he got up in the 10th frame, I was thinking to myself, he better strike here, because I was talking him so up when, if I had one person to pick for $1 million shot, remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
And my pick was Tom Smallwood, because I personally bowled against Tom 1,000,000 times, and the kid always struck out in the 10th frame to beat you, always. He never missed. So when he got up in the 10th, I'm like, if he misses right now, I'm not going to hear the end of it from Mike. And he was ready for the cheddar, and I was all excited. So yeah, final 8, Mike. With another Sunday this Sunday for the
Yeah, this is it. This is it. They bowl down to 1. They bowl down to 1 this Sunday. So I think it's like
early,
back-to-back
too.
shows. It is a little bit earlier in the day. It'll still be up against football, but we'll be following, and we'll be back next Wednesday to do a recap. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pissed about that time, Mike. Like, that's right during like all the games. Like, there's no like a way around it. I guess it sucks. I'll have to DVR at this time and watch it on my own time. Cool. Yeah, check it out. So,
okay, all right, Rob. So when Belmo was in isolation, he did the roast me Belmo thing, and you and I came on here and talked a bunch of shit about how we would be better at it. So we are we're accepting videos from people, bowling videos, that we will roast people. So we have our first person tonight. It's one of our people in the chat here. Okay, Andrew, and we're going to bring the video up, Rob, and we'll kind of just go back and forth, Rob, you and I.
Sure.
All right, let's play it once or twice so we can get a good look at the form here, and then you and I can kind of start to comment and go back and forth here.
Oh, look out! Oh.
Oh, whoa.
All right,
Whoa.
let's hold on. Let's go back here.
It's one more run through that initially. Okay, we might have to play this and pause at a certain point, so you're gonna have to be prepared here, Rob. Let's see. Okay.
So wait, I'm gonna make my first roast here. So I wonder, does that number 8 on his shirt, does that stand for how many times he's ever cashed in a tournament in his career? 8. I'm just saying. The way he throws the ball.
Rob, play it again for me.
All right, hold on.
All right, pause it. Are you posing there at the end? Are you doing the long jump? Was that a long jump from the right to the left? I mean, tried to strike the pose, tried to hold it as best he could, just couldn't hold it. So I'm not sure. The best thing about my man's game, Andrew, you want to know what the best thing about your game is? The best thing about your game is your ability to match, bro. Okay, that's the best thing about your game. At least you got the black socks with the black and the white and the black arms, so you look good in terms of having your outfit on and all that, but it falls apart when we get on the lanes, my man. The best thing about your game is your ability to match. How easy are they that shit strikes?
Yeah.
How easy are they that shit strikes? I mean, I know what bowling alley that's at, and I know they tend to be easy, but I mean, God, they must be. Right. They must have really,
I feel like Andrew
lowered the standard over there. How many shots did that take to get a flush strike?
Well,
that had to be. I mean, you probably bowled like 130 as a total game, and that was like one of the flush strikes that you threw in that game. I'm not so sure. Were you trying to run it out there, or were you falling off balance? I couldn't tell.
Well,
were you
like
running
Andrew
it out?
Mike, are you going to let me roast? Or are you just going to roast? Should I just not?
Well, what do you got? What do you got, Rob? Come on.
I was going to say, do you think that he needs to reach out to Ed Hardy for a sponsorship? Because he's got the flames on the shoes and the earrings. I kind of feel like Ed Hardy would definitely be a good sponsorship. This is the first time in the history of bowling. This is the first time in the history of bowling where being left-handed, two-handed is actually disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a detriment. I would agree.
Yeah, I also feel like he throws it so bad that he should reach out to ball companies so they should sponsor him so they don't throw his shit. I also, hey, Bill, Mike, word on the street is that Andrew is Bill's cousin. Is that? Am I correct in saying that?
I think you are. Yes.
After Bill watches this video, I don't think he's going to be allowed for Thanksgiving dinner. I think they might disown Andrew from the family after watching this video.
See, now I disagree, Rob. Like, I wanted to know what ball he was throwing because I thought, wow, if he can throw like that and that ball strikes, give me one of those. Give me two of those. So I think the ball companies could actually sell balls by using him. But, yeah, I got to say, best part about your game, Andrew, it's not the haircut. It's certainly not the haircut. It's definitely the ability to match. Like if I saw you at a tournament, I'd be like, oh, all right, this guy, like he's ready to go. He's ready to play here. He's got his arm sleeve on. And then, after a few shots, I'd say, best thing about his day is the outfit that he put together the night before.
Well, maybe instead of Ed Hardy sponsoring him, looking at his backswing, maybe it should be Popeyes with that chicken wing of an arm swing.
Oof.
I'm just.
I was gonna say, put his backswing on a milk carton, dog.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's missing.
It's missing. It's MIA.
There is no backswing. All right, Andrew,
All right.
we appreciate you being a good sport. Anybody else, send us those videos. Let us know. We will roast you. Rob, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. Football picks, Rob. Football picks. So it was 2-2-1, 2-2-1 going into last week. I had the Bills minus 3.5. I believe that was a winner. Yes. Bills minus 3.5 was a winner. Titans minus 5.5 was a stinker loser. That was a terrible pick. And I had Seattle minus 3, which was a winner. I also put that in a parlay that I won. So I was 2-1. Rob, how about you?
I don't know where I put my picks, Mike. I'll be honest with you. I misplaced them somewhere.
Do you remember what your record was?
I think I was. I don't know, Mike. I'm gonna have to. Oh, I have it right here.
Okay.
I had the Broncos plus 3. Do you remember? Was that a winner? Who did they play?
I do not believe that was a winner. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Sorry.
I will look it up. Let's see. Broncos plus 3. That was a winner. 31-30 over the Chargers. That's right. They stole that game. Go ahead. Who else?
I also had the Bills minus 4.
Oh, so I lost. I was 1-2. Bills lost. That's right. Bills lost.
So I was 1-2. And I also picked the Rams minus 3.5, and I think that was a winner. No, they lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah, they got blown out.
Yeah.
All right. So we both went 1-2. So we are 2-2-2. Rob, who are your picks for this week?
Let me go through it right now here. I'm going to take the all right, give me the Ravens at minus 2.5 over the Colts.
Okay.
I am going to take the Texans at minus 7 over the Jaguars.
Okay.
Jaguars are starting like a practice squad quarterback that game, I think. And I'm going to take I don't want to go close to that game. I'm going to take the Saints at plus 5 over the Bucks.
Okay.
The Bucks, I feel like, barely beat the Giants this week. I feel like they're going to play the Saints. I'll take the Saints giving points. So those are my picks.
Okay. I'm going to go Pats minus 7.5 against the Jets. I think that's a no-brainer. Cardinals minus 4.5 against the Miami Dolphins. And I will take the Bills. Bills plus the points against Seattle. I'll take that. I think the Bills are a good team. I'll take the points in that game. So, no, Andrew, I got to say, I think that the Cards have convinced me that they are not frauds. So I'm sticking with them. I'm going with them this week. I may even put them in an actual parlay. So, all right, Rob, that's all I got. You got any final thoughts for us or what?
Yeah, I got actually 2 final thoughts. To the haters, I want to thank Brooklyn Bowling Company for my Zombie Belmo shirt. If you guys want a Zombie Belmo shirt, reach out to Brooklyn Bowling Company, and it'll be fun little gift for Christmas. Second thing is I want to send my thoughts and condolences to Jacob Buttriff, who recently lost his mother. We're all thinking about you, and those are my thoughts. I'm staying away from any election talk, Mike, because I really you know, whatever. It's not in our control. You know, it is as people, but it's not. So
Yeah, we don't really do politics here. It's bowling.
we don't do politics here. It's bowling.
True.
So we do politics in bowling, though.
True. I agree with your sentiment on Jacob Buttriff, most definitely. So that'll be my final thought for this week. Keep him in our thoughts. And yeah, that's it. Rob, we'll catch up with everybody after next week. We'll wrap on the PBA playoffs now.
Yeah, and apologize to people for this early start time. We'll be going back to the 5 p.m.
8 p.m. Yeah,
8 p.m. Eastern.
We wanted to have Spike on. We wanted to do the regular people watch bowling, and he actually does his podcast tonight at 8:00. So we worked around him just because, like we said, we're really an amateur operation over here.
The good thing about a podcast is that you could go back and rewatch it. I am in the process, FYI, of getting our shit together when it comes to our old episodes. And also, I believe now we should be on Amazon. I requested that. I don't know if they've uploaded them yet, but the podcast should be on Amazon. They have some kind of podcast outlet. So, we'll see what happens. But I do want to start uploading these episodes for audio so people could listen to them on iTunes. I need to start doing that. So, yeah.
And listen, if you weren't here for the regular people watch bowling, when we're done and it posts, go watch it. It was worth it.
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob, I'm working on
it. We're working on it.
I'm working on it. Mike just sits back and just tells me,
I don't know the technical end of things. I've said that.
Oh, yeah, this is bullshit. He's a technical expert.
If it weren't, hey, I'll say it in front of everybody. If it weren't for Rob, this podcast wouldn't even be doable. I'm serious. Dead serious. He's the technical brains behind this operation.
Some brains. I can't even get the intro.
I'm everything else. I'm the brains of everything else.
Yeah, you're the brains. Okay.
All right,
guys.
All
right, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Later.
Bye.